Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Victory Leaders Lounge podcast. And today I have a guest with me that has a podcast of her own as well. Her name is Mamina Das, and she is, well, her title below says she's curator at Holistic Conversations podcast. But you know that we're just two podcasters out here having a good time. Mamina, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Absolutely. Before doing that, I would like to say namaste to everyone who are connected with us today. And to your audience, JJ, can I address you as JJ?
Please do. Yes.
Thank you for having me today.
Of
Uh,
course.
I'm very happy to be here.
And
And introduction about me is what do I say? Like, from where do I start?
well, we could go first go into, what is Holistic Conversations podcast, and then maybe we can talk a little bit about why you started it and what you do for a living.
Yeah, thank you for specifying your question and clarifying the intention. Holistic conversation was like a guided thing. I know it's not like I had planned for doing a podcast. No, it was never in my plan. It's just a gift of life, gift of time, and I had to courage up to really roll it to reality. So I would say like this is a precious gift for me where I get to meet uh, different people from different background, just like I'm talking today with JJ. So
Yes,
that's a a gift of time, you know.
it is. It is. Well, it's not easy to come by. It's probably the most valuable thing we have, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I have been loving this journey so far because I get to meet new people. I get to learn about their experiences. And you know what I have felt so far is like everybody is capable in their own ways, and we are all unique, you know. And everybody's their own guide. They just uh, have a different approach to life, and that's really amazing to know, you know. There's so many possibilities to life, and there's so much to learn about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to learn about. So it has been a very very uh, terrific, I would say.
Good. Well, no, that's good. So, what type of conversations? It says holistic conversations. What type of conversations do you have on your podcast?
So I have done very, very different things in my podcast. Like I have interviewed people from spiritual background. I have interviewed people from movies and films. I have interviewed therapists. I have uh, uh, done with senior living. I have done with whatever comes my way. You know, I don't have a set mindset like, oh, I am going to do this. No, the plan is different, whatever comes my way and whatever works out, because it is not only me, it's the other person too. So
Yes.
it is a very inclusive approach to life, which is not centered around me, but it's centered around all of us. We get to learn from each other, we get to learn about their community. I got to speak about my community, my experience, you know. So far it has been like wonderful. I feel like my life is refreshed with this holistic conversation. It's a
Well,
refreshing thing.
that's amazing. I mean, that's why I enjoy podcasting as well. I get to showcase wonderful people such as yourself, and especially entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff like that. There's so many people doing wonderful things in this world, and I want people to be inspired and know that anybody from any walk of life can go out there and make something happen. But what led you to want to go on this podcasting journey? You said, well, it was an accident. Can you tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about that?
So it started. I missed talking to people. I was a radio jockey when I was in Vancouver, Canada,
Hmm.
and that was also not planned. That was also a gift of life and time, you know. So it just happened, and I just took the path. And I was very nervous when I was starting to talk to people through radio without a video, just audio. And I really liked the experience, and when we moved to US after that, I was missing a lot. And then I didn't know how to get to that space again, so I had this uh, anxiety and this dream. I believe in my dream. My dream is a manifestation, is a path to my life. It has opened so many doors for me. My podcast was also something that happened in my dream, and then uh, it just rolled into reality. So I started to believe in dream more because of these things which came to me in my dream. So I believe in my dream, and with this podcast, I have never felt like I'm failing on something, I'm competing with someone, or I'm rushing towards something. I have a goal or achieve a target or something like that. It's freedom for me just to talk to people, to know about them. It's freedom for me.
Variety is the spice of life. I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that I think that's amazing. And anything that we do, if we don't have a clear sight picture in our head, I call it that there are many different ways to say vision. And I think that in a dream, that's a wonderful way to have a vision. And a lot of people, can't take their vision and put it into reality unless they can kind of see the path. And so I'm glad you did that. I mean, that's part of leadership, right? Is to be able to see what you want and go for it. And so good on you for doing that. And what do you
Thank you.
what do you do for a living outside of that? I know you told me the
Yeah.
other day, but I want the audience to hear it because you're an amazing person for doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Jerry. JJ, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I am a behavior therapist with autistic kids, and I help them with their behaviors when they are in the spectrum.
Mhm.
It's very difficult to say that it is not normalized. They are still treated as special needs, but that part is always active dormant within us. For some, it is very actively manifested, and for some, we know how to deal with it. That is the only difference, I would say. So, for in my daily routine, I really work for them in school setting and at home and at aftercare or in the daycare, wherever they are located. I go see them one on one. We follow a treatment plan according to their diagnosis, and then we help them treat.
Well, that's
We help
wonderful.
them.
Well, I have family members who are autistic, and I've had family friends who have children that are autistic, and I'll tell you, wonderful, brightest people in the whole world. They just have certain things that keep them from interacting with other people the same way that other people would normally interact. And so it takes a lot of patience to do what you do. And I have a nephew who's that way, and we've watched him quite a few times. It takes a lot of patience to you can have a lot of fun with somebody when they're autistic. Sometimes you just got to respect their boundaries a little bit differently. And it's what a wonderful thing you do. It's hard. A lot of people don't go in that lane because it's as hard as it is. And it really takes somebody with a heart of gold to be able to do that. Well, so that's wonderful. You said you wanted to talk about a little bit about leadership today. What when you hear the word leadership, what is that in your heart? What does that mean to you?
So I would like to really share about my father,
Okay.
who is no more in this world, but he's
Sorry to hear
still
that.
with me in my heart.
Sure.
I live him through my life experiences. When you talk about leadership, I strongly see him as a good leader, in the family, at his work, uh, in the social realm, in different kind of situation. I have seen him as a leader, and the word is very interesting because there is a leader and there's a ship. If there's no ship, there's no leader.
That's so
So what do you mean by ship? In a ship there is a team. who are doing their specialized tasks. So you need a team to be a leader. It's because of the team you are leader. It's not because you are leader you are in a team. It's because there is a team who can follow you, and whom you can follow, more so, whom
Yes.
you can follow. And they are leading, you are just accompanying them, they are leading. Like, for example, leadership is like, I have 5 fingers, right? So when I close them, then that is the definition of leadership. you know
Okay.
it's like binding people together,
Oh, binding. I like that.
binding people together, uh, respecting their specialized skills. Everybody has a innate skill, and we got to observe and see who has what skills and how we can uh, utilize or uh, invite them to help the work get done with their specialized skills you know
Yep. I always look at, with your definition that you just got done saying, I always look at a leader as somebody who is just another member of the team, but they're the one who kind of has the responsibility of bringing everybody together and making sure things are done efficiently, while also having a level of influence that gives them respect.
Yes.
And I think it's wonderful the way you said that, because that I've never heard it put that way, where you're kind of like the binder of the team. That is so true. The leader should be the one that holds that group together, that kind of binds it like glue. And honestly, sometimes the manager is not necessarily the leader of the group. Sometimes it's there's one person. We'll just say, if there's a team of people in a grocery store, and they're all in charge of doing similar tasks, but then maybe they have a crappy manager. Maybe there's one person that, when nobody else is around, is going through and helping everybody else. That person, though they may not be charged with the responsibility of leading that team, they're doing it because they care. That is, in my opinion, the embodiment of leadership. That quality, that it's that selfless quality that just makes you that person that wants to help.
Yes. So a leader, you are talking about leader with a vision. If you are a leader, your vision should define you.
That's
What you
right.
can see, it's not a vision statement or mission statement,
No.
but what you can see on the other in the other person.
Mhm.
What are you seeing in the other person? How do you see it? How do you see it?
Yep. A mission and a
Yep.
vision, a mission statement and a vision statement.
Yeah.
That's really for a company that
Yes.
that has a team or multiple teams, so that the people that are there have an idea of what the overall goal and mission of that company is. A mission and a vision statement is not for a one-on-one relationship with another person, or a one-to-many relationship with other people. It's you can have guiding principles, but
Yes.
each person is different, and each person has their own unique qualities that they bring to the table. And so leaders really understand how to embrace those things, not judge, and meet people where they are and help them get things done.
That's true. And also, I would like to say, as a leader, I think the best quality that I adore or practice in my life, that I have seen in my father, is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Listening. You know, with listening, we can understand the other person, and then we can bring things together and then start working on a project.
I agree. And the most wonderful thing about a therapist and a coach, by the coaches are the same way,
Yes.
is our innate ability to hear people out and
Yes.
help them kind of get things done on their own. And you can't do that without hearing them out, finding the gaps in what they're doing, and helping them come to their own conclusions. And I think that that's the most amazing thing. I have fun doing that as an executive coach, and I can only imagine, with the environment that you work in, you not only have to meet people where they are, but sometimes that takes so much time because you have to, like I said at the beginning of the call, you have to have patience when you're dealing with an audience that sometimes really just doesn't want you in their space.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. That's very true. It's very difficult to pair with the child, to pair with the child. And I was working with a kid who was a no to me, who said no. He was not listening to me. The very first day, it was very difficult for me to pair. Also, I have his parents, his mom. Um, I was on the case, and the second day, his mom comes up in the morning to drop him in the daycare, and his mom says he doesn't like you, so we might need to change a therapist. So at that point, what came to me is like, well, look at the clarity of the mother. Look at the clarity of the mother. Look at the concern of the mother. Rather than me thinking about I'm not good enough, I was able to think about her perspective. She is very clear that she doesn't want me as a therapist for her child. So what's wrong in that? What's wrong in that? It can be true. It can be true. So
Hmm.
what is the point of dragging the case and bringing insecurity and starting with a conflict? So I talked with the mother like, okay, let's resolve it. Let's resolve it. Let's have a meeting, and you can say what you are feeling. I can say what I'm feeling, and then I can get another case to work on, and maybe you can have another therapist. No big deal, we are all here to help each other. And it's very nice that you know that your child doesn't like me. But ultimately what happened, she did not change. She did not uh, uh, agree to meet. The next day again, when I come to the school, and I get an email from my organization that you are still in the case, and we are not bringing any change. And see, look at how things change. Like, look at how things change. I mean, I did not do nothing, she did not do nothing, but it's just the time. It's just the time.
Sure.
And that child, after me working with him for a week, I had to take my vacation. I did not see him for 7 days, 5 days. Then when I come to see him, he was saying, "Hey, where were you? Why didn't you come to see me? I was missing you." Look at the thing, how things happen. I
Yes.
am not setting up the environment for him to miss me, or I'm not doing anything like that. But time, just the
Yeah.
time, just the time. So it's very difficult. It's easier for us to judge at that point of time. That's what I learned from my experience. No judgment, just take it as it is. Just take it as it is, and just follow how things are happening. There is always a solution. there's
Yes.
always a solution there's
Always a
always a solution.
solution. I
Yeah.
agree. And I announce this to everybody on here. I've gone through therapy for post-traumatic stress for a number of years. And the one thing that I've noticed about therapy is that if you don't have the right pairing therapist to the person receiving therapy, then it's not necessarily going to work. But
Yeah.
there's always that initial judgment, and I think that's what that parent was feeling at that time. And
Yeah.
it because you may have had a bad experience with one or more therapists in the
Yeah.
past, you automatically think that that next person is going to embody the same characteristics than the people you haven't had success with, which is
Yes.
is ultimately not true. You have to give people
Yeah.
a chance. And
Yes.
so it's great that you were able to take a step back and say, well, it may be me, but it may be not. We need
Yeah.
to just talk this out, because some people might have been just like, well, I want to move on to the next one then.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
You have to be able to be willing to put effort. And so she knew at that point
Yeah.
that you're not just willing to put in effort with her, you're probably willing to put in effort with the child the same way. And
Yeah.
ultimately the kids are pretty adaptable. So
Yeah.
as long as the parents get along when they're young, then the kids will probably be okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's what I learned, like, everybody has their own mindset, and what mindset is all about, what they have experienced so far, as you rightly said. Like, if I have had a bad experience, then definitely I will think 10 times before taking the next step, or like having the same, welcoming the same experience. Maybe it's with a different therapist, but my mindset is same, like I'm going there with that judgment because I have had an experience. So for us as a therapist, we have to deal with parents uh, constantly with this, because there are so many changes. The therapists are leaving, they are going to a different case, they don't like the, as parents, so is therapist, so they are also thinking that maybe it's not compatible, maybe I cannot uh, work according to their expectations, maybe I don't like the case, whatever it is. So if a parent can judge, a therapist can also judge. It can be from both sides, because we are individual at the, we are human beings at the end of the day. So we have our own emotional and mental state. So it takes time for both. It is from both side. I will not say that it's only the parents, but for the therapist as well.
Sure.
I remember a case where a mother, I had a child who was very aggressive physically, and everybody would complain about him. Everybody, the principal, the teacher, the counselor, the student aide, he used to go to after school care. There, everybody used to complain. What I did was, I thought, and I chose to not complain the mother, because at the end of the day, when she used to come and pick her son up, she would always meet me with her head down, eyes, no eye contact. And the first day, I was like, why she did not look at me, why she's not looking at me when I'm saying hi. She did that, and for me to choose not to complain was something that I could do, was something I chose to do. Like, everybody's complaining. Why? Why to add to that complaint?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have always maintained a journal of any one good thing that he would do in his entire day. And this happened until 7 months. The mother did not look at me, no eye contact. But when summer came and when I went to see him at home, it was a different environment. And when I learned from what I learned from the mother was like, there were so many changes of therapists. It was very difficult for me to again bring the trust back and talk to somebody. So look at her mental state, emotional state. It is
Mhm.
difficult. It's not easy. It's not
Right.
easy. So I stayed in the case for until 1 year, and everything changed once the mom understood and she could trust us, and we could all work in the same page. Everything worked out well, and the child thrived.
Relationships and human connection. I think
Yeah,
that those are probably the two most important things. And it doesn't matter if you're a therapist, if you're a manager or a business owner, whatever the case may be. I mean, if you have the ability to connect with other people and to meet them where they are and build relationships, you're gonna be more successful than those people that are so task driven that they forget about all that stuff.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is
Just
something
even
I have learned, like respecting them with from wherever they are coming. It's important for me to learn about them. They are not reacting out of nothing. They might have been gone through something.
Mhm.
And let's give it some time. Let's give it some time. Let's be patient.
Well, and in that situation, it sounds like, that like the last situation too. I mean, that child went through so many therapists because of the behavioral issues
Yeah,
that her ability to even see that there's a benefit to going to a therapist was probably so low that she
yes,
had no confidence in it. Usually when people are looking down and they're not making eye contact, it's a lack of confidence for some reason. And or
yes.
so I mean that you built that. It took a while,
It
but
took 7 months.
7 months is a long time,
Yeah,
but
it did.
you did it.
It did.
But you did it. And now she has confidence in you. Otherwise,
Yeah,
she still wouldn't look you in the eye.
that's true.
How
That's true.
wonderful. How wonderful. It is. I mean the 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 value of patience is just it's they say it's a virtue. Well, it's a virtue for a reason. It's not a
Yes.
virtue because it's easy. Just like active listening, that's not easy.
Yeah.
Patience, that's not easy. Building relationships, it's not easy. But if
Yeah.
you can clearly communicate your value and let people know that you're going to meet them where they are and that
Yeah.
you're going to try your very best. I mean, you can't guarantee outcomes ever, but if you can
Yeah.
meet them where they are and kind of let them know I'm willing to give it everything I got, then
Yes.
it doesn't really matter if it's in a therapy role or it doesn't matter if you're in a leadership position, then you will get the buy-in of people, maybe not right away, but
Yeah.
eventually they'll start seeing things in a different light.
Yes.
So good on you. We're kind of at 25 minutes now, and we have about 5 minutes left. This is usually where I ask the guests that are on my show, if there's a special message that you would share with the world, what would that be? And if you're willing to, we would love it if you would share that with us.
Yeah, this is a very responsible question for me. It's like what I practice in my daily life. And that's what I'm going to say is like choose love if you have the ability to choose love, and work with patience, and listen.
Listening is so important. I teach a communication class, and that is the one thing that people always have questions about is the portion where I teach active listening. So you're
Yeah,
right. Listen.
yeah, yeah,
I
yes,
always tell people, why did God give you 2 ears and one mouth? It's
yeah,
because you're supposed to listen more than you talk.
yes,
That's how you make positive connections. Thank you for
yes.
sharing that. So with your podcast, if people wanted to hear that, what platforms are you on, and how could they reach out to you to see if this would be an opportunity for them to be a guest on your podcast?
Yeah, so I am in YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and I am also in LinkedIn, but my profile is not updated.
Okay.
So you can definitely go on YouTube with Holistic Conversations podcast. Look me up, or you can email me at holisticconversations1980 at gmail.com. And you can look me up as Mamina Das in my Facebook. And I have also, that is my main account, Mamina Das. And then there's this Holistic Conversation linked to it. And then I have another page where I post my therapy videos and stuff like that. That is also linked in my main account. And then I have Instagram, Mamina Das.
So I will put this at the bottom here, and it looks to me like this. It doesn't really say much, but that
Okay.
is her profile. I'll take that off because it's just a bunch of letters and numbers. But I
Yeah.
looked her up. If you look up Holistic Podcast, you'll see her picture, or Holistic Conversations. You'll see Mamina's picture. It's worth checking out. I've actually watched a couple of the videos already.
Oh,
Just
wow.
a great thing. Make sure you follow her on Facebook, just like this. And what I will say is, both of us, right?
Yes.
If you enjoy what we're talking about today,
Yeah.
go to Holistic Conversations on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. But for this particular one, please go to YouTube and follow, like, subscribe, and comment below wherever you see this, because we want to keep this conversation going too. And of course, if you want to reach out to Mamina, I can help connect you with her on any of those platforms. I'll make sure after this that I'm connected with her, especially on Facebook.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you so much. It was a very good experience talking to you. And this is the first time I'm talking about leadership. So hope we get to learn something from this.
Yes. Well, I learned something from you, and I hope you got something out of our conversation too. I love meeting new people and having these type of chats.
Same here. Same here.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next time on an episode of Victory Leaders Lounge.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, JJ.
Thank you.